Right, we are making, we've pureed these vegetables that were in the oven, if you saw in the last segment. I just want to show the folks at home. John's going to get a shot at this. This is what we made, basically, before, and that's what it looks like. But Carol put this in a blender, and it turns into that, is what you see on the stovetop here. It's amazing, the consistency. There's no cream or anything added into this, right?
There's nothing extra, and the only thing we're going to add are a couple little things to kick up the flavor a little more.
Which is always good.
Right. And one of the most important things when you're fixing pasta is to add some of the pasta water to the pan that you're making your sauce in, because it helps the pasta to adhere then to the sauce. So I'm adding a little bit of this pasta water to thin it out, and then we always have to add a little extra acidity, because when you're eating in a restaurant, you always get that finish of acidity, and that's what makes you want to come back for the second bite.
And keep eating it, and that's a little balsamic vinegar.
I'm adding balsamic, and I'm adding a little hint of lemon, probably about a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Okay.
Fresh lemon juice is really the best.
Yeah, there is a difference. You can actually taste the difference.
I think there is. And then we're going to use bow tie pasta, because it seems to be a better way to keep the sauce on it. And
kind of cups it a little bit.
Sauce, right? The creamy sauce is good, and I think this is great because it seems like it's creamy, but there's no cream at all.
You have to keep reminding me of that, because the consistency is of a cream sauce.
And as you mix, what's going to happen is you're going to need more of the pasta water. And
right? I know. I'm noticing that.
That's what I'm going to keep adding, because I want it to be creamy, but I don't want it to be clumpy.
Clumpy, right? That's definitely a key.
So the pasta water will start to cook in. And also, I always undercook the pasta when I'm going to add it to a sauce like this, because...
A little al dente.
Right, and also you're going to cook it more when you put it in here.
So you might as well not fully cook it.
That's right, and the starch then from the pasta will release into the sauce, and you'll get even more creaminess.
It looks like a vodka sauce.
Exactly.
I would think this was if I just looked at it.
And you know, for kids, I love to feed vegetables to children, because, especially when you disguise them.
This is a great way to do it.
Because kids love pasta, and they love red sauce.
Sure.
And so it's a great way to give them a really healthy dish without all that fat that you tend to sometimes get in another sauce, or with some extra nutrition that is built right in.
I'm going to go through really quick what we're looking at in this sauce again. It's we have eggplant, we've got cherry tomatoes, we've got red onions, we've got fennel.
Right.
And did I miss something?
Red pepper.
Red pepper in there.
Yep.
So think about that when you're looking at this sauce. It was just blended up together, no problem with the blender. You did it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, very fast. And then now at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to add a few garnishes, and I like to add some turkey sausage that's been sautéed.
And not as heavy and greasy, right?
Right. I always use turkey sausage, because then you can take the fat right out of it, and it's done. You know, and it's great. And then I saved a few. No, that's okay.
That looks great.
I saved a few of those vegetables if you want to put them in, and they just add a little more texture. Go ahead.
A little garnish, right? Why not? Yeah. Look at that.
And so then you've got a little texture to your sauce. And then, of course,
I got to say, we're missing something.
Right. We're missing a couple of things. Now, first of all, I'm going to add some extra of the parsley that I chopped up earlier.
Great color there.
But also, some of this fennel frond, and I've had, in restaurants they call it fennel pollen, which sounds ever so fancy, but it's really just the top of the fennel.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a little advertisement for what you've just made, you know, so you know what's in there.
Now, does that have a licorice-y flavor to it?
It does, but not as strong as the actual root, you know, so it's a good thing to...
And fennel is a very Mediterranean, you know, ingredient, especially in Italy, for sure.
It really is.
Okay.
And so now, the other thing you can know is that this dish, before you start, if you're having weekend company, you can make a big batch. Yeah. Let's say lunch, you can have this as your side dish for your grilled meat.
Right.
Then dinner time, it's a nice dinner, and then second helpings are coming later, and I'm not going to give that away. But I think it's time to plate some up and
absolutely. Let's show everyone this looks on a plate.
About that?
It sounds good to me. I did notice we have some cheese here, right?
And we're going to put that on at the very
Have to bring that up. Now, we were talking about Mediterranean food in general. It's usually pretty simple, the recipes, right? You just let it be, right?
I think simple's the best, always.
Absolutely.
And it's, in my cooking classes, I try to make people understand that even though it's good, it doesn't have to be so fancy and complicated. No. You know, the simple is always the most delicious.
Look at that.
And so We'll add some in here for anybody else who's interested later.
Actually, that's all for me.
And
so
the one
just
thing,
so everyone
one
knows.
thing that's always nice at the very end, just to give it a little bit of a gloss,
Little
just a
shine to
tiny
it,
bit,
yeah.
a tiny bit, not too much because
Right.
you don't want to overwhelm.
And we haven't used too
But-
much olive oil anyway to begin with. It's not.
There you go, sir.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Victoria's going to come over right now. We have a few seconds left. I'm going to send it back to Vic, but we have a wonderful second helpings coming up with Carol Anderson. Thank you so much.